What do you think I'm called, by the way? If you get it right, I'll give you a bag of cocaine.
I'm like in the look, I've even got like some kind of egg stain.
That was like jizz. It's like someone's just jizzed all over your pants. It's probably the last victim you smothered.
It could have been.
What time's your appointment at?
4:30.
What time's it now?
4:31.
Oh Jesus, you're well late. You shouldn't be talking to
I'm
me.
in trouble.
You should not be speaking. You should have just gallivanted off on your bike.
Yeah, look, give me your number.
You give me your number.
Okay.
Well, thank you for checking me out on the street. This wouldn't have happened otherwise. Do you know your phone number?
Yes, I do. I'm sure that you are getting checked all the time.
Well, but it's whether or not you act on it, though, right? You know, I have to be selective. I can't. If I was going over to every woman who looked at me, I'd be very tired by now. So I have to be selective about who I'm going over to. What's your number? Growing up, I had severe social anxiety, right? Like, you know, like at school, like whenever the teacher put you on the spot to answer questions. Yeah, well, whenever that happened to me, I would break out into these sweating fits. And the other kids in the class would look at me and be like, are you okay? And obviously this would make me sweat more. Whenever my not so close family would come around and visit me, I would immediately run upstairs because I was terrified of talking to them. And my only form of social interactivity growing up was my aunt, who I'd play Call of Duty with after school. Modern Warfare 2, by the way. Like, people will meet me today or they'll see my content online and they'll just think to themselves, oh yeah, this guy is a hashtag natural. But the truth is, bro, I've been building my social skills brick by brick since the age of 13, and becoming fluent in the language of social dominance doesn't happen by luck, it happens by design. So if you're watching this video and you think you're doomed, there's no hope for you, you're never gonna get your dick sucked, then trust me, bro, I've been there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share 3 simple principles that have helped transform me from a social misfit to a social master. 1, surrender to chaos. You know the writer Ernest Hemingway? Yeah, you know that guy. Well, if you don't, he's a fucking writer. Anyway, Ernest Hemingway was famous for saying, the first draft of anything is shit. But for most people, and you're probably in this category right now, their fear of losing overpowers their excitement for winning, so they don't try. Like, bro, literally think about right now all of the times when you've wanted to approach a girl or travel to a new place and meet new people, or maybe you've wanted to start creating content online. Like, think about all those times, and think about all the times that you didn't do the thing because you were scared of being shit. So remember at the start when I was like, yeah, I used to be an absolute social misfit, yeah? I remember that part of the video. Well, I made the decision around 13 years old that I was gonna take a sledgehammer to my social anxiety, right? Like, literally just fuck the absolute shit out of it until it wasn't a problem anymore. So what I did at 13 years old was I went onto YouTube and I started teaching myself basic magic tricks, right? And I did this for about 6 months, right? So just locked away in my room, shuffling my cards, performing magic to myself. That sounds fucking wrong. But at the time, I was watching a lot of David Blaine, right? You know David Blaine, like the fucking like weird, mysterious guy. Yeah, him. I was super inspired by him because I was watching him performing street magic in America to fucking hillbillies. And yeah, it motivated me. You know, like when you first, like, you know, when you watch day game videos online and you imagine yourself doing the thing, it gives you this like flash of inspiration, right? You're vicariously living through that person on the screen. You're imagining yourself in their shoes doing the thing that you want to do. Well, I had that at 13 years old, like watching David Blaine. So after about 6 months, like once I got confident that I could perform the magic, like perform it to myself in my room, right? Like whatever. But yeah, once I got to a level of proficiency, I decided that I wanted to go out onto the streets of my little hometown of Barrow-in-Furness and start doing street magic. So anyway, the next day tumbled around, and you've probably had this sensation like when you said to yourself, right, tomorrow I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna cold approach girls. Like, you say that to yourself like in the dusty recesses of the night. And then I woke up in the morning with this internal feeling of dread, right? I was like, oh fuck, like I need to do the thing. Like, I literally need to go outside, approach people and do magic. So it was around 2 p.m. of that day. I tentatively walked out of the house and I just ended up parading around the pavements for about an hour, stuck up in my head, I didn't speak to anybody. I was just walking around feeling more and more frustrated. And I know, I just felt like a fucking weirdo. I had a deck of cards in my pocket, but I felt like I had this like dirty secret in my pocket. I was like, oh, what are people gonna think of me? Like, no one does magic around here. It only works in America. It only works if you perform into fucking hillbillies. It's just like excuse. And this went on for a couple of months, right? Like, I'd go out, I would say to myself, I'm gonna do the thing. It was always, yeah, I'll do the thing tomorrow. And then tomorrow roll round, I would go out and I just wouldn't do it, right? I'd bottle it, I'd bail on myself, I'd get home, I'd feel frustrated, felt like a fucking failure. And what I decided to do was go online, fucking like the savior of the online space. And I came across this this magic forum. It's called the Magic Cafe. It's probably still there. It's basically just a bunch of virgins who are just like, oh yeah, magic. Just like talking about magic and whatever. Anyway, it was useful because I came across this post which basically explained to me that the sensation I was feeling was termed approach anxiety. All right, so now that I knew what I was working with, then I just typed in like how to overcome approach anxiety. And after sifting through a lot of responses, like most of which were, oh, just do it, bro. I was like, all right, fine, which to be fair, that is accurate, just fucking do it. But I came across 5 words that really resonated with me, and those words were reject your need for guarantee. Because after I read these words, I realized that the reason I had so much anxiety towards approaching people and performing magic was because I felt as though I needed to be perfect, right? I felt as though I needed to deliver a flawless performance. I wanted social validation as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted people to like me, and also, like, thinking about it now, I wanted to be perceived in a certain way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be like cool and suave and mysterious, like fucking David Blaine. But all of these desires, this pressure that I was putting on myself to be perfect, castrated me of my confidence. So, bro, what helped me overcome my initial approach anxiety and kickstart my journey towards becoming fluent in the language of social dominance was giving myself permission to be shit. Just giving myself permission to suck, okay? Understanding that the first draft of anything is shit, but you're not gonna make a masterpiece until you've got through that shitty first draft. Do you know what I mean? So the next day, went outside, and now I had this newfound knowledge, right? I was like, okay, just give yourself permission to suck. Reject your need for guarantee. Just fucking do the thing. Literally view the rep itself as the reward. I went outside, went to a local park, and I saw this middle-aged lady, or fucking hashtag milkshake. So this middle-aged lady just sat down doing fuck all. So I was like, right, she's the one. And I remember exactly what my opening line was. It was like, excuse me, do you want to see something cool with cards? Just sound like a fucking little virgin. And she was like, yeah, okay. So anyway, I whipped out the deck, whipped out the cards. To my surprise, the effect actually went pretty well. I did like card to mouth, where like her selected card ended up in my mouth. She really enjoyed it, but it wasn't about that. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't about the trick going well. It was about me doing what had scared me. You know, it was about me dive bombing into discomfort and proving to myself that I could actually do the thing. So like, I still remember it to this day, right? Like, that was literally like the turning point, right? That was when Christian took his first step into the kingdom of manhood. And yeah, I just walked away from it with this meteoric sense of relief. And that's why, like, now when I coach guys one-on-one, it's like I see my 13-year-old self in them, right? Like, I see that scared, lost little boy who just wanted to be wanted, right? Who just wanted to take a sledgehammer to his social anxiety and just do the things that scared him, because I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was inside of me, but I just knew I didn't want to be this sniveling social mess for the rest of my life. Because, bro, I guarantee that the reason that you're not currently fluent in the language of social dominance is because you're terrified of failing. All right, so maybe you really want to approach that girl, but you're scared that you're going to get blown out and people are going to see you get blown out, and that makes you feel unlovable and unfuckable. Or maybe you want to make more friends and meet new people, but you don't want to go to the social event because you're terrified people are not going to like you. Or maybe you want to start creating content online, but you're petrified of people lashing hate at you. But I learned a long time ago that if you want to become great at anything, then you have to risk not being able to do it. Right? You're not going to become fluent in Spanish after one day of practicing. You're not going to be competing in fucking Mr. Olympia after one time of going to the gym. And you're not going to become a modern day Casanova after approaching one girl. Like, no, this stuff, yeah, it takes time, right? It takes patience, perseverance, practice. It's not about talent, it's about tenacity. But it all starts with your decision to give yourself permission to be shit. Because when I say surrender to chaos, what I'm really talking about is letting go. All right, letting go of your need for perfection, rejecting your need for guarantee, and being okay with the worst case scenario. Like, you approach a girl, she rejects you, you go to a social event, everyone hates you, you create content online and people call you a twat. And like, one of my favorite quotes is from a Japanese bloke. He's called Ikkyu Sojun. He's dead now, anyway, don't matter. But he said, throw me in hell and I'll find a way to enjoy it. All right, throw me in hell and I'll find a way to enjoy it. Because yes, getting rejected by a woman, or going to an event and everyone hating you, or getting criticized online, like, yes, these things do just suck. But bro, if you do put your head above the parapet and put yourself out there, then these undesirable outcomes are inevitably going to happen. And it's up to us to not only embrace them, but to actually find a way to enjoy them. So maybe you're scared of getting rejected by a girl. All right, make a point this coming week to go out and do one direct cold approach. Literally go out with the intention of getting rejected. Or maybe you're terrified of confrontation. So for you, make a point this coming week to sign up to a local boxing gym. Or maybe you're petrified of public humiliation. All right, why don't you sign up to a local improv class? Like, go to the class and just make yourself look as disastrously stupid as possible in front of a room full of strangers, right? Like, it's exposure therapy. Yeah, it's surrendering to chaos. It's inviting the worst case scenario. Because for me, like, I can't think my way through a problem, right? Like, I need to attack it head on. And this brings us on to our second principle, which is to take bold action. So one of my favorite books is The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. I don't know if you've read it, but it's literally one of my all-time fucking goated favorites. And law number 28 is to enter action with boldness. If you hesitate before doing something, your doubts will undermine your efforts. When you act, be bold. And if you make mistakes, correct them with even greater boldness. Everyone admires the bold. And he goes on to say that boldness doesn't come naturally. It must be developed and practiced. Napoleon originally was timid and socially awkward, but he had to learn boldness to succeed on the battlefield. Later, he applied it to all areas of his life, and it made him seem larger than life, although he was physically small. From my personal observations, the guys who win at the game of life are the guys who go after what they want rather than settling for what they think they can get. Remember, in life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you think you deserve. So whether it's a woman, a job opportunity, expanding your social network, traveling to a faraway exotic location, starting an online personal brand, you have to be all in, all right? Like, one of my all-time favorite authors, Charles Bukowski, once famously wrote, "If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start." This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, and maybe even your mind. And you'll do it despite rejection and the worst odds. And it'll be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There is no other feeling like that. You'll be alone with the gods and the nights will flame with fire. You'll ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is. If you're watching this video, then you're probably stuck on the carousel of comfort. Right? You make a habit out of playing it safe because you're scared of losing. You know, you go to work, you do your job, you come home, you have a wank, go to sleep, and then rinse and repeat, all right? Like, this is the majority of guys' lives for the next fucking 20 years. But bro, if you want to become fluent in the language of social dominance, you can get more girls, make more money, and live a life free from bullshit, then you need to start taking more social risks. And a really practical exercise that is going to get you into the habit of taking bold social risks is to go outside and record a 30-second video of yourself in public. Yes, boys. So I thought there's no point in me giving you a challenge and not doing it myself. So I've come out to, it's Krakow, Old Town. Fucking hell, bumped into that poor old lady. Yeah, I've come out to Krakow, Old Town, and yeah, just to show you boys what I'm actually talking about. So just come out to a busy area like this, get yourself in front of people, make sure that people can actually see you. Don't like cop out and go to like a really quiet park in the middle of fucking nowhere. So come out, come into public, and yeah, do the thing purely to take a sledgehammer to your social anxiety. Like, you're coming out here in a busy public area to absolutely fuck the absolute shit out of your social anxiety. And as soon as you start talking, like, you realize that people, to be honest, when I start talking, people usually just move out the fucking way. They're like, who is this lunatic with a camera? But yeah, this is literally what I want you to do. Just come out here and just put yourself under the microscope of the social spotlight. This is actually an exercise that I get my clients to do when we start working together. Like, this is gonna cause a lot of social resistance, right? If you're anything like I was at 13 years old when I was breaking out into some sweating fits at school, like, you will do anything to avoid the spotlight, all right? But if you wanna shatter your social anxiety, then it's not about avoiding the spotlight, but it's about inviting it. It's about embracing it, all right? So go outside and record yourself in public. Literally just like a 30-second video. Yes, people are gonna look at you. Yes, you're gonna feel weird. Yes, you're gonna have a lot of apprehension there. But once you've done it, you're gonna be flooded with this sense of relief, this sense of accomplishment that you weren't shackled by the constraints of society. You weren't dancing to the music of the masses, but you set yourself an intention, you went out and you did the thing. And if you want like an added sense of accountability, then feel free after you've shot your video to send that video through to me on Instagram at Christian Magician. Because I don't know about you, bro, but for me, the whole point of life is to feel alive, right? To unapologetically go after what you want rather than settling for what you think you can get, yeah? Like, shooting for excellence rather than settling for mediocrity, because eternity is a long time, innit? Like, we're too long dead, so why would you want to die with your music still inside of you? Anyway, hashtag fucking deep. I just go on these like philosophical tirades. But another practical exercise actually that I want you to do, actually you can do this now, like you can literally pause the video and do this exercise, fuck it, is write down 3 wildly ambitious goals that you want to have achieved by the end of the year. So for me, my list is get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, become fluent in Spanish, and travel to Mexico in November for a month-long fight camp. And bro, once you've set these wildly ambitious goals, like, don't just keep them to yourself, right? Don't just like write them down on a little piece of paper and just like stick them in your drawer and never see them again. Like, you need accountability, all right? Like, you need people to be aware of what your goals are, because this is going to give you a sense of urgency to actually do the thing. Now, you don't have to share your goals online like I'm doing, but share them with a friend, like share them with a family member or a masculine support network, because once you've shared your aims publicly, then you've got the accountability, right? Like, then you've got that drive, that desire, that determination to actually follow through with the goals. Otherwise, you just kind of feel like a bit of a fucking loser. And it's at this point of the video, that I want to talk about my one-to-one coaching services. One of the main reasons that my clients get crazy results when they work with me is because they not only get direct access to me, but they become part of my private masculine support network of like-minded guys. If you're trying to do everything on your own with zero feedback, zero accountability, and zero support, then your results are going to suffer. So when you're first going into those conversations, have the energy a bit higher to start with. So like, for example, if I was going over to you,
oh, that makes sense.
Right, because
if high to
correct. So start off high and then bring it down, right? Because if you start off too low, it's like, is this guy even going to be able to carry a 5-minute conversation? Because it's like,
sense.
You understand?
He gives you very good details of the minutest things, and like for the sticking points he can tell you how you can tackle them. Like I had a lot of sticking points, and now I basically have a path, and I know how I can like basically tackle it, and how I can work upon it, and how I can improve, because he genuinely took care of me, like his student, on mindset and like developing your confidence and have a conversation, and how you can have a more comfortable conversation on literally like every small bit.
So bro, if you're watching this video and you like the idea of going on multiple dates a week with women who you've met through organic face-to-face interaction, but you have no idea where to get started, then just put yourself in for a free 30-minute consultation call by clicking the first link in the comments. At this point, I've transformed the dating lives of so many men across the world that the only problem you're going to be faced with once we've worked together is deciding which girl you're taking out tonight.
The whole experience was just mind-blowing. It was sensational. It was just incredible. Christian is a phenomenal coach, and the best compliment I can pay him is he is legit. He is the real deal. During the weekends, I probably did about 60 approaches roundabout. Christian gave me pointers, just so many subtle things he did. I did around 60 approaches. I got 10 numbers, 1 Instagram close, but I'm not really going to count that. But yeah, 10 numbers. And then from those 10 numbers, they're pretty much all live. Like, I think maybe 8 of them have been texting, and basically, you know, sort of at least 4 of them want to meet up. This guy is legit as.
3. Marinate in the moment. Guys who are most fluent in the language of social dominance are never in a rush, right? I'm thinking about characters like Tommy Shelby from Peaky Blinders or Daniel Craig in Casino Royale, right? Like the demeanor of these men screams, I'm in control, right? And one of the main sticking points that I see in my beginner clients when we first start working together is their energy is too erratic when they're speaking with women, right? They'll be speaking too fast. They'll be fidgeting incessantly. They'll be firing out closed questions on rapid fire. Like, oh, do you live in London? Do you like living in London? Do you think you'll stay in London for the rest of your life? Oh, by the way, do you live in London? It's like, but we don't want to be erratic in our conversations with women, right? Because it just projects a sense of nervousness and like I'm not sure about myself. So just like a really practical thing you can do to train yourself to speak slower than you typically would is whenever a girl asks you, what's your name? Rather than responding immediately, just take a couple of seconds, all right? Take a couple of seconds, marinate in the moment, just look into her eyes, all right? Just be all fucking seductive with it. Like, you can literally count to 2 in your head if it makes it any easier. But let's say you're a pretty girl called Emily. You're Emily, and you ask me, oh, what's your name? Okay, so Emily's asked me what my name is, all right? So, 1, 2, and then you literally just say, have a guess. All right, so you're in your conversation with a girl. She asks you, what's your name? Wait, look at her. You can just be like, I fucking her at this point. Like 1, don't say the fucking numbers out loud. 1, 2, have a guess. All right, and just the simple act of you waiting a couple of seconds is not only going to make you appear more in control and therefore more confident, but it's also going to allow you to take your interactions with women from social to seductive. All right, so super easy thing that you can do. And another exercise that I actually want you to start doing the next time you go out is record the audio of your conversation. Like, I guarantee only about 2% of guys will actually do this, but those are the guys that will actually become fluent in the language of social dominance. Because I get it, all right? You don't want to listen to yourself back. You think, oh no, this is cringy, or maybe your ego's too big, and you're like, yeah, I don't need feedback. I'm the dog's bollocks, whatever. you probably do need feedback. Like, everyone needs feedback, all right? So do what I used to do when I was first starting my hashtag day game journey, and use your headphones, all right? Literally just capture the audio through your headphones, use a voice recorder app on your phone, and I'm trying to think, make it super practical, Chris. All right, so go out, okay? Go out this coming Saturday, make a point to do 5 direct call approaches and aim to record at least 2 of those conversations, because what this is going to do is it's going to hold a mirror up to what you're actually like, because oftentimes we're blissfully unaware of our own sticking points or our own blind spots. All right, we're going out there, cold approaching girls, thinking that we're having fucking fantastic conversations, wondering why no girl wants to see us again, and when we actually get feedback on what we're doing, we can see what we're doing wrong, all right? Because I guarantee you're speaking too fast. I guarantee you're not giving the girl long enough to answer your questions. I guarantee you're just bulldozing in there with some basic closed questions like, oh, do you live in London? Do you like living in London? Oh, that's your job, you're a vet, do you like being a vet? Just everything is like fucking boring. So go out and record the audio of your conversations, all right? Because then you've got a point of reference, all right? Like, bro, like when I first started doing YouTube, like literally creating infields online, Jesus Christ, man, that was not a pretty picture. Like, not only was I getting feedback from myself, I was getting feedback from the rest of the world as well. Like, people who did not give a flying fuck, right? I was getting feedback like, what's this guy? What the fuck is this? Like, this guy's a 4 out of 10 at best. He shouldn't be doing this. What are you doing, you absolute twat? But it's the feedback that turns you into a winner. And bro, ultimately, becoming fluent in the language of social dominance is about making social skills something we are rather than something that we do, right? And the way we do this, as well as applying the 3 principles that I've taught you, is through relentless repetition, all right? Just like if you were learning an actual language like Spanish, right? You have to be committed. You have to sit down to do the difficult work. You have to run towards resistance. Because every time, right, like I'm learning Spanish at the moment, like every day, I don't want to do the thing. Very much like when I first started day game, I didn't want to go out there. I didn't want to start cold approaching girls. Or when I was doing magic, like I didn't want to put myself through the social fire and perform in public and risk being shit at it. Like, no one wants to do that, right? But that's what makes a winner out of you. That's what I've learned anyway. Like, this is just advice. Like, I might know nothing. But no, I think it's true. Like, risking not being able to do it and viewing resistance as your compass. Do you know what I mean? Like, whenever you don't want to do something, like going to the gym, learning a language, going to a social event, approaching a girl, creating content online, like whatever it is, whatever is causing that resistance, run towards it. If you are new here, then my name is Christian and I teach high achieving, busy city workers how to bring beautiful women into their lives through organic face-to-face interaction. So if you resonate with me, you like what I do, then subscribe, turn notifications on, because I don't have a upload schedule, so that's the best way to be notified when I drop a new Casanovian classic. So yeah, man, hope you've enjoyed it. Love you, and I'll speak to you in the next one.
You stay sexy, okay?